Welcome to our channel, Behind My Story. Please like, share and subscribe.
I promise to love you, unconditionally each and every day that we're together. I will never get tired of waking up next to you. I will forever be loyal, and I will never stop thanking the universe for meeting someone like you. You complete me. My name is May, and that's me practicing my vows in front of the mirror. I was so excited for my wedding. I got prepared 2 hours early because I wanted to have time for other things that might go wrong last minute. And yes, that's classic me. I have my own clipboard, and I'm probably driving my wedding planner crazy. Anyway, this is my big day, so I took a deep breath and saw my best friend John as he entered the room. I smiled at him. "You look wonderful," he said. I met John in med school, and we instantly clicked. He's more than any girl could ask for. He's my best friend because he's always been there for me. One time my mom asked me why we're not together, and to be honest, sometimes I think about that too. John is very good looking. Maybe we just don't see each other like that. Besides, I already met the love of my life. We're getting married today. John accompanied me for an hour while we waited for the signal from the wedding planner. But instead, I saw John's mom enter the room. She told me that Mark, my fiance, was not answering his phone, and the best man checked, and he's not in the hotel room either. In my head, that only meant one thing. He bailed on me. I fainted. They panicked and brought me to the hospital where John and I worked as interns. 2 months later, I quit the internship program at the hospital. They were gonna fire me anyway. I'm out of my game because of what I'm going through. I'm always alone in my apartment. I pushed people away, including my mom. Don't get me wrong, I just got sick of kind words trying to comfort me. It just doesn't make things better. That time, nothing comforted me, except sad music, sappy movies, and chocolate ice cream. Sometimes I look at my old photos with Mark. I also have not deleted our photos on Facebook. I just couldn't get myself to do it yet. My thoughts are disturbed by John's text message. Open the door. I opened the door and asked him, "Why didn't you just use your keys?" "My hands are full," he said. I saw him carrying 2 bags of goods, meaning lots of ice cream and sweets. He knows my favorites. I don't know what I was gonna do without him, really. That night, we watched a movie about best friends who fell in love with each other. He suddenly grabbed my hand and kissed it. I slapped him. I was so surprised. I slapped him so hard he had a red mark on his cheek. I rushed to the fridge and got him some ice. "I'm so sorry," I said. "No, I'm the one who should apologize, really," he said back. What he said startled me. "I love you, May. Always have, always will." I felt my head spinning. Nope, I'm not dreaming. I'm having a sugar rush maybe, but I was just really surprised. I did not expect that. Then he said I don't really need to say anything back to him. He said that he would be happy if I would just let him love me. He just wants to be by my side and take care of me. "Listen, John, I'm in a lot of pain. I'm a mess right now," I told him. "I know, and I don't care. I'm here for you. I can't even hate you for not realizing I have had feelings for you since day one," he said. "Why didn't you say something? Why wait all these years?" I asked him. "I tried," he said. "Remember when we went to Paris 3 years ago? I was about to tell you how I felt." I remember that. But also, I remember that I met Mark on our flight going there. He tagged along with us, so he never really had the chance. I remember that day. It must have been so horrible for John, because I instantly fell for Mark. I remember how he saved up for that trip so he could bring me to Paris. I didn't know. I'm such a terrible human being. We talked that night, and I apologized. Not just for slapping him, but for the pain I must have caused as well. Long story short, I gave him a chance, and a year later, we eloped. With John, everything was falling into place. Everything was right, and I felt incredible. He made me forget what Mark did to me. Years later, I don't regret marrying John. Not ever. I know there's no point to wait. We will have a nice life together because he loves me. And when I started giving him a chance, I felt hard for him as well. We're finally happy. Our marriage was amazing. We traveled together for a whole year, enjoyed the things we did not do when we were just friends. We're happy now. Yeah, I already said that. John is also successful now. He's already a resident. And right now, I'm starting over as an intern in a different hospital. Cool, right? So our life is basically stable. Like nothing could ever go wrong. Like all we need to do is wake up each day and be happy. But life has its own way to balance things out. 6 months after we secretly got married, I got pregnant. We were both so ecstatic. We both wanted to have kids, but I had a hard time with work because I learned that my pregnancy is fragile. Still, I pushed myself hard to finish my internship. I am so behind, and I don't want to stop for another year. John was so upset about that. He said that he could just work for both of us. But that's not the point. I also wanted to have a career. Not at the expense of our own child, he yelled at me. It was the first time we felt like that, and it felt so bad. We eventually made up, and he promised that he would try to understand me more. But during the last month of my pregnancy, the hospital got too toxic because there was an ongoing storm and people were coming in with a lot of injuries and all. I pushed myself to my limit because people needed my help, but that day, I lost my baby. We got a power outage at the hospital, so I took the stairs but I felt dizzy and I fell down. I had a miscarriage. It was an accident, but I felt somehow responsible. I wanted the world to blame me. Maybe that's why I felt a little better that John actually did. John loves me, so of course he didn't say it to my face, but something changed. I was so devastated, and John was often not at home. He's either out with his friends or working late at the hospital. He's not saying it, but I know he hates me. We tried to make it work, but John accepted an offer abroad that would last the whole year. He did not even consult me. I understand that it's for his career, but that's not how a marriage is supposed to work. And so, he left me. I told him that I'm not sure I would still be here when he gets back. I lived my life without him. I still talked to him, but we were falling apart. Our baby's death broke me. I know it broke him as well. It broke us. It broke everything. A year later, he came back. We tried again. I accepted him because he said we should at least make it work. We were also best friends. We should at least consider that. We attended marriage counseling. We went to a couples retreat. We made time to do the things we love. We traveled again, but we both felt there was a huge gap. One day, I learned that he accepted another job offer abroad and did not even tell me about it. We had a huge fight. We said things to each other that permanently damaged our relationship and even our friendship. And so, he left me the very next day. 6 months later, we filed for divorce, but we tried to make sure that it was what we wanted. We spent the whole night together for the very last time. A couple months later, after our divorce, I took a pregnancy test, and it came out positive. I couldn't believe it. I was half happy, half confused. I told John before labor. It took him a while to get his head wrapped around it. I hate how John and I have become. I did not just lose my husband, I lost my very best friend. 2 years later, I found myself in court. We were having this messy custody battle over our little Mike, our son. Wondering why? Because I got a great job offer in a different country, and I decided to take it. The court took his side, and I had to kiss my son goodbye. I felt my whole body shaking. I left the country, and I video called Mike every day for 2 years. Of course, I also talked to John, but we never really went back to being best friends. One day, I was trying to reach John, only to find his mom answering the phone. She told me that John was in an accident, and he did not make it. My heart fell to the ground, and the world stood still. I immediately took a plane back home. Guess who was in John's funeral? Mark, my runaway fiancé. But I couldn't care less. Mark actually talked to me. He tried to apologize, and I was so tired. I only nodded and walked away. He did not know what to tell me. Surprisingly, I wasn't mad at him. I was not mad at anything but myself. John's mom came up to me and told me that John has left me $20 million. Why do you think he left me that kind of money? Where did that money come from? I would love to know your thoughts. Comment down below and don't forget to hit like and subscribe.